If you've ever had a buddy claim to be a Minuteman, but he looks like an obese gun tuber and carries an SDV-40, then go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. I am your host, the average Minuteman hierarchy and concept video enjoyer that your mom says that we have at home. Thanks for watching. Guys, the purpose of today's video is we are going to be discussing a checklist and the Minuteman concept and what it truly means to be a prepared Minuteman. I'm going to go through the hierarchy and you let me know down in the comments where you fall. Now, this is just going to be a thought experiment and a checklist for you to make sure you're actually in line with the standards that I have put out previously. Now, you're going to have to bear with me. It is 4:50 in the morning. And this is like day number 4 or 5 of 14 to 16 hour days. So if I yawn or if it takes me a minute to catch my thoughts here and there, you'll just have to deal with it. Guys, all you can do to support the channel is hit the like button. Every time you hit the like button, it's like giving me a hug, a kiss, a fist bump, you name it. So thank you so much, seriously, to my audience for hitting the like button. And comment down below where you're lacking in the Minuteman concept, Minuteman hierarchy. And I think that'll be a fun discussion down below. If you want to donate to the channel, there's a Patreon that you can join for behind the scenes content. There's an Instagram that you can follow in case this channel gets nuked, or you can donate to the ammunition fund for the Glock 19 Gen 5 burn down, or the TSOS Raider burn down, or the TSOS M1911A1 government burn down. Okay, first and foremost, number one on the list, the Minuteman hierarchy is going to be mindset. If your mindset and your training is not squared away, then you're not going to have a good time. Just because you think, just because you pretend to be a Minuteman on Instagram, or you think you're a Minuteman because you have an AR-15, that's not the case. So mindset is going to be number one, and that is also going to come in line with training. If you have no formal training, no formal or even informal education, whether it be you watch videos on YouTube about tactics, missions planning, water purification, how to store food, how to clean your weapon, how to zero your weapon, all the things of that nature, battle drills, small unit tactics, how to react to contact, you name it. If you don't have the mindset for this, then you're not going to make it. So many guys claim to be a Minuteman, but if they were to ride 1 hour in the back of an ambulance with a paramedic crew, they would see they see one drop of blood, and now all of a sudden they want to go home, right? They do a ride along with a law enforcement officer, and all of a sudden it's too scary and they want to go home. So mindset for the Minuteman hierarchy definitely needs to be in order, and it's definitely where I tier it number one. Number two is going to be physical fitness. Now, this is where I see a lot of gun tubers fall short. You can name the names. That'll be fun. How about this? How about we list all the obese gun tubers down below that don't even meet the minimum standards of Minuteman hierarchy? So number two is going to be physical fitness, okay? Where do they fall in physical fitness? That's not only going to be bodybuilding, or not bodybuilding, but strength training, but endurance, and making sure they can actually move in their kit. So if you can't, run 1 mile with under 10 minutes, that's a problem. If you can't do, 50 push-ups, that's a problem. If you can't do 10 pull-ups, that's a problem. And I could just go down the list, but you need to be physically fit. If someone looks at you and questions if you're obese or not, that's probably an issue, okay? So number two, physical fitness in the Minuteman hierarchy of needs here. Number three, now this is a tricky one. I normally gravitate towards water. Now, why water? Because you're dead basically in a day and a half without water. Once you get to that 2-day mark, 3-day mark, you're really just waiting to die. So number three in the hierarchy, the Minuteman hierarchy, is going to be water. Having water on hand, having a water purification plan, whatever filter system that you want to use for that, making sure you have a water filters plan and you have at least a month, if not 2 months worth of water in your house. If the water were to turn off tomorrow, do you have water? So many guys, they prioritize protection over water. Well, dude, you may not ever have to shoot anybody in Minecraft, but you may die of thirst, okay? So have water on hand, store water throughout your house, and replace it as necessary every year or so. Replace that water with fresh water. You'll thank me later. And also don't forget to factor in bathing water. Bathing water is also going to be something to keep yourself clean. Hygiene, you're going to need it. All right, so you're welcome. From there, armament. Now, you need to have a systems in place. If you need to take a look at your general area. So for me, I'm in the southern United States. So I know that most people are going to be carrying an AR-15 and a Glock. That's just the case, right? The people that are in the know, there's going to be more Glock pistols and AR-15s chambered in 9mm and 5.56 throughout my area. Now, if you're located in Kursk, Russia, there's going to be more 5.45 and 9x18 or 9x19, 9mm laying around than you really know what to do with, okay? So keep this in mind as you're making your armament plan, what you and your crew are going to use. Everyone should be using a similar weapon system, whether that be an AR platform, a 9mm Glock, it doesn't matter. But everyone in your community and in your preparedness plan needs to have the exact same setup. That way it's going to be simplicity across the board, magazine interchangeability, parts interchangeability, and just overall training compatibility. Because the last thing you want is someone trying to operate an M14 when they've never done so in a firefight. Okay, so armament is definitely something that you need to keep around the number 4 mark, and it definitely needs to be squared away. So number 5, after armament, is going to go just in line with armament. That's going to be training. Now, this doesn't have to be formalized training, but it is a major plus. I would say if you took a self-taught, dry fire type of dude from YouTube, and then that was self-taught, never had any formal training, and then you took a dude with formal training, the dude with formal training and dry fire is going to beat out just the dry fire guy. So number 5, training. You need to be attending some sort of training that is professional training. Be careful of who you seek training from. There's a ton of frauds, as you guys know, in the firearms training space, in the YouTube space, gun tube space, you name it. Seek formal training, right? Rifle 1 and rifle 2 class, a pistol 1 and pistol 2 class. Go to some competition shooting, right? Whether it be USPSA, USPA, right, or IDPA, or a shoot for your EIC badge, or just go to any sort of formal training that involves weapons handling at a high level, and you will be squared away, as well as dry fire. So number 5 is going to be some sort of structured training. Okay, recommended formal training that you invest in your training. This includes every member of your team. If your spouse or buddy is a legitimate hazard with their weapon, with the armament that you gave them, well, that's a problem. Okay, so number 5, training. They need to be trained. They need to be trained on the actual weapon system that your group has planned. Just going and getting training on a pump action shotgun and a shotgun 1 class is not going to be applicable for a group in a Minuteman community that is taking care of or using AR-15s. So just keep that in mind as you're going through this training concept and seeking training. Make sure you structure the training in a way that supports the systems in place, as well as medical training, because we're going to talk about that here in a minute for medical. Okay. Now, number 6, after training, now we're looking at mass storage. This is going to be storage of beans, bullets, and Band-Aids. I normally say 10,000 rifle rounds, 5,000 handgun rounds minimum, okay? And then you're going to want IFAKs and boo-boo kits. So you need to store not only individual first aid kits, tourniquets, chest seals, compression gauze, basic medications, saline, etc. You need to have all this, but you also need to have several other IFAKs for emergencies and boo-boo kits with things like Tylenol, ibuprofen, stuff for basic cold, things of this nature, okay? Because if you have all the individual first aid kits in the world for trauma, but you don't have anything for a boo-boo kit, well, guess what? You may have a tourniquet to stop the bleed, but if you don't have a Tylenol to put the headache away, now your dude that is used to be your one of your riflemen is useless because they have a a migraine that they can't get over. And I'm not really, sounds funny, but I'm not kidding when I say you need to have boo-boo kits on hand. So mass storage of ammunition, 10,000 rounds is what I recommend. Magazines, 20 to 30 magazines per weapon. And then medication, obviously, several individual first aid kits for trauma. Plus that up with saline, splints, boo-boo kits, you name it. This is stuff that's going to keep you in the fight, as well as, basic run-of-the-mill things. Food. For this mass storage number, I believe number 6, you also need to have storage of food that is non-perishable. So rice, beans, Chef Boyardee, meals ready to eat MREs, Arctic MREs, Mountain House meals. This is all stuff that needs to be stored in mass that is non-perishable, and you need to inventory it every year and throw out what is bad and replace it. Okay, again, minimum of a month, but really 3 to 4 months is where you want to be. Same as water, right? And you're really gonna have to stay on top of your game when it comes to replacing your mass storage. All right, so after this, now we get into redefining. You're making sure your fuel levels on your vehicles stay topped off, making sure you have a generator plan, because once the power goes out, making sure you have a battery plan for when all your electronic devices and things that could keep you alive. If you're a diabetic, make sure you have insulin on hand, things of this nature. This is kind of the oddball from this point on, is making sure you refine and store things that you're going to need. Fuel, excuse me guys, it's super early in the morning. Fuel, batteries, specialty, medication, training, specialty training such as medical, designated marksman stuff. You can only add to, never take away from the basics. So at this point of your hierarchy of needs is when you add to. What I would recommend you guys is stay in this order, okay? If you focus on what I've gone through today, this morning here, and you focus on the basics, you'll always be squared away. Way more than the guy that's LARPing as some special forces operator. If you're trying not to be a special operator and you're just trying to be a regular dude that's trying to keep themselves alive and following this Minuteman hierarchy, you're going to be way better off than the dude on Instagram flexing with night vision, right? Obviously, night vision will go in the mass armament stage where you're trying to improve your fighting position and improve your community. And remember, it goes taking care of yourself, then your family, then your near friends, and then your community, to build micro communities, to build your community back, okay? Guys, I got to get to work. You guys know I'm an active duty drill sergeant leader, so I got to get in here. But I'll get this posted up as soon as possible. If you want to support the channel, donating $5 to the Patreon is huge. Can't stress that enough. Donating to the ammunition fund is huge. It's the only source of funding for the channel. Hit the like button and leave your comments down below. And until next time, it's going to be Trench Grenade, your average Minuteman hierarchy video enjoyer, though your mom says that we have it home. Signing out. Cheers.